Well, Patty, we did it. We sold the house.
We did.
We're officially homeless.
Yep.
And now it's time. Maybe we should start thinking about our next home.
It might be wise, yeah.
Well, let's talk about it in this episode of Travels with Delaney.
The podcast.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back. My name's Patrick.
I'm Patty.
And we are joined like we are almost every week.
Almost every, yeah.
Mr. Truman, Ms. Bess, our Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, right here on the old podcast sofa.
Yeah.
I think we're only going to record on this podcast sofa one more time.
I think that's it. I think so.
For those of you who don't know what's going on, we just recently closed on the sale of our home.
Tall Pine Lodge.
Tall Pine Lodge, a split log home. We've lived here for 9 years.
Northeast Indiana.
And we are moving out to go full time in our RV. 33-foot fifth wheel.
Yep.
With 2 slides.
Yep.
And we couldn't be happier.
Oh, no, this is great.
Now,
this
I
is
will
what we've
say,
been working toward.
For anyone who maybe just found our podcast and you're like, oh, great, they're going to be traveling every week.
No.
That's not that's not how we're full-timing.
That's not how it's going to work for us anyway.
Our full-timing is going to be, we will be parked for 7 months at Happy Acres Campground in Angola, Indiana, where I will be the manager.
Yep.
Because I am retiring from the college after 28 years, and Patty has just up and quit her 26-year teaching career.
Yeah, well, I haven't turned in my, what do they call it?
Right, well, but you've told your boss.
I told my boss.
I mean, you're staying through the end of the school year.
That I'm staying through the end of the school year,
Yep.
and then I'm doing something different.
Yep,
So.
she's going to be running her eBay store that's been up and running now for a little over a year.
Patty and Fashion.
That's right. You can look her up on eBay.
Yep.
And she sells a lot more than fashion.
Anything.
It's anything and everything.
Yep.
We have sold some cool items.
We
over there.
have.
Like a 1930s Churchill Downs Kentucky Derby program. Vintage Dodge Boys Have More Fun embroidered silk jacket.
Yes. Didn't we have a Bon Jovi jacket too?
We sold a Bon Jovi fan club jacket that sold for like $200.
A U2 t-shirt, concert shirt.
Yep.
Yep.
I sell cameras over there.
Shoes. My fancy purses that I don't use anymore. My Coach purses.
A lot of Disney
Kate
stuff
Spade.
because a lot of the inventory has been our stuff as we've downsized.
Disney, yeah.
We're doing a massive downsizing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear this particular podcast, because we are recording a little early because things are starting to get hairy around here, this one will go live. We will be in our final week here at the house.
Yes.
So
isn't that crazy?
We're probably 90% packed up and gone.
I think, yes.
I mean, we're down. In fact, we just
took over some things, and now we just
got rid of our couch. A friend of ours, or actually a friend of my nephew's, friend of the family, saw that we had it for sale on Facebook and said, "Hey, I'll buy it if it's still available." And so we said, absolutely, you can have it.
Yeah, he's not going to pay for it.
He's not going to pay for it.
Nope.
I always say he's the nephew that made me proud.
And why is that, dear?
Because my real nephew, my blood nephew, broke family tradition and went to the enemy for college. He did not go to Purdue. He went to that smelly school down south called IU.
If you can't figure out, he's a Purdue grad here.
Josh, a friend of Alex's and a friend of our entire family, he did us wrong. He boilered up, hammered down, and we're proud of him. And so when he said he would buy, Patty and I were like, "Yay, Josh wants the couch." Partially because we want it gone, partially because we know it's going to somebody.
And you'd like to know it's not just going to go to.
Right.
It's nice to know who it goes to.
And the sad part, and now I will say, in all fairness, that I had another message.
You did.
Somebody who wanted to come pick it up today and pay full price, which we were only asking $100, and we only put $100 because we thought somebody will offer us $50.
Right. That was the thinking.
And but Josh had actually been the first message in the list.
Yeah.
And so I messaged the other lady and said.
And it's always nice if someone you can give it to. So
absolutely.
We'll do that.
Because that $100 isn't going to make or break us at this point.
No.
We're taking about a 66% pay cut to do this little thing. So I'm not sure at this point $100 really matters.
Does that really matter?
Probably not. I'm down to my last.
Does anybody really
bourbon.
know what time it is?
Does anybody? Well, Patty, before we get into an episode today where we're going to talk about.
I thought you would forget.
Do I ever forget?
Well, you were drinking your bourbon here. I thought maybe you were getting a little schnookered.
No.
Darn
we have to do another exciting round of.
All right.
This or that.
Okay.
All right, Patty. So, Patty, as we get ready to go full time.
Yes.
All right. So, we're going to be in Texas this winter.
Yes.
All right. So, which of these two restaurants would you prefer to go dine at?
Okay.
Would you rather go to Joe T. Garcia's in Fort Worth for some fajitas and the best margarita I have ever had?
Oh, num num.
Or would you rather go to the Trattoria outside of Dripping Springs for some amazing Italian food?
Oh my gosh, dear. I thought you were.
This is 2 weeks in a row I've hit you with almost an impossible.
Some hard ones.
I'll go back to things you don't like. How's that sound?
Wow. Oh my God. I love them both. Oh my goodness. Shoo-wee. You know what? I'm going to go with Trattoria.
The Trattoria for the win.
And hopefully we can get Colonel Woody and Priscilla to go with us.
Oh, they definitely will. They're the ones that introduced us to it.
Do you think they'd pay?
Maybe. I don't know. You know, after one winter with us, they're going to be like, would you people go to Florida next year?
Go somewhere else, please. Yeah, man. I love them both. Oh, my gosh. That was tough.
It is. If you get down there, and if anybody wants to know the exact name, we call it the Trattoria. I'm sure there's an actual name to it.
It's beautiful.
It's located at a winery, vineyard. I believe when they originally opened, it was all one. And then I think maybe they broke off. So the wineries ran by one group and the restaurant by another. But it's great because you can go to the winery ahead of time, do a tasting, buy some really good wine. And then right next door is this beautiful, I mean, I felt like we were in Italy. Like that building.
It's a gorgeous building.
And the food there, we've ate there, probably 3-4 times now?
It's so good.
We have never had a bad meal.
You come out stuffed.
Yeah, I mean, we end up eating, because, I mean, you
overeat when
you know my favorite
there.
part about the Trattoria? The gelato bar. So when it's time for dessert, yeah, I mean, you can order your tiramisu if you want. But one of the things you can do is you can order homemade gelato, and they let you go up to the gelato bar and sample as many of them as you want.
So you probably don't need any if you just take a little sample.
Probably not. So,
but yeah, that's always fun.
We have so much fun with Woody and Priscilla there because, one, we always get a really good bottle of wine because they know the Italian wine scene because they lived in Italy, and
which is good for you.
Yeah, and we always start off with usually, some kind of appetizer.
Something.
I think calamari or an antipasta platter or something. And then, you get your big Italian meal. I think you usually get lasagna or something like that.
Yeah.
Although I've always wanted to try their wood-fired pizzas. Those
always look amazing that people get.
And then, then we got the wine and then the vino and the bread. And then it's time for dessert. And usually we get a couple of those.
Yeah.
And then Woody and I like to have our espresso.
Yes.
And so needless to say, between the wine, the espresso, and all the food, the drive back to Canyon Lake is nobody wants to drive. Let's just put it that way. That's why I always ask him to drive. Plus, he knows how to get there. So,
yeah.
Although after a winter in Texas, we may know how to get
there.
But I will say, Patty, Joe T. Garcia's up in Fort Worth.
Oh, it's so good.
If anybody goes to Fort Worth, this place is
awesome.
You can walk to it from the stockyards.
Yes.
The stockyards is kind of like that touristy area where they do the cattle drive a couple times a day.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very good. But we never even moved the car. We just walked up to Joe T's. And during summer season, I guess, or spring. When the weather's nice, you will stand in line up there. Like, I think the first time we went, we stood in line for, an hour?
Maybe.
Hour and a half. Because I don't think they take reservations.
No.
And the other thing is they don't take anything but cash.
Right.
They do have an ATM machine.
All cash.
And the menu is small.
Simple.
It's 2 items. You're either getting the fajitas or you're getting, is it the burrito or the enchiladas?
Something like that. Yeah.
But they make their margaritas from scratch.
Oh,
there's no mixes or anything.
Good.
Patty has never liked a true margarita on the rocks. So when Patty said, I think they don't do blended there.
No.
And so I ordered one. You didn't. You took a sip of mine, and you were like, where's the server? Where's the server?
I want my own.
Yeah, and you ended up getting because, the fresh lime juice.
Well, and we've been there a couple times. I'm thinking in my head because one time we were out like in this real pretty garden area.
Because that time it was like spring break, I believe, and the outdoor patio was open.
Beautiful.
That was beautiful. And then the last time,
it was like Christmas
it was
time.
at Christmas, so it's the winter down there.
Yeah.
unfortunately, especially up around Dallas, they get a real winter sometimes.
They do, yeah.
So the outdoor patio is not open.
It was
so
chilly.
You can't go wrong with either of those restaurants.
No.
That was pretty cruel again. Next week I'll do something like, Patty, you're walking in Big Bend. Which of these two would you prefer not to encounter? A rattlesnake or a bobcat? How's that?
None of the above.
Well, it's called this or that, not none of the above.
I'm going with none of the above.
So, well, we didn't come here. We're already 10 minutes
Jibber jabber.
And
getting a little giddy.
But we are already talking about our next home.
We
haven't even moved out yet.
Nope.
And it's not that we're not excited about living in our RV. We are.
We are, but you didn't always want. I guess part of ours is like, what are we gonna do next? Because we're not gonna be in that RV forever.
Right.
So we're thinking ahead.
We're estimating 2 to maybe 3 years max. I actually think it could probably be 1 to 2 years at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Because we have been doing a lot of research on what our next home is going to look like. And we have decided that we want a tiny home.
Yes, we do.
And a tiny home of probably, I would think, a minimum of 300 square feet.
Yeah, we were looking at 400.
Maxing it out to the 400 or 399 that you can get away with for a park model.
Park model type style. Yeah.
So we know that. I think that's what we want. I think the harder question that neither of us can answer at this point is, where are we going to park it?
We don't know the where yet.
I honestly, I'm not so sure we would not be ordering a tiny home right now if we knew where it was going to go. The problem is we don't know where.
I don't know where I want to be.
I definitely want. I think, and you can tell me if you're not thinking this way. My thinking is I want one that is portable. In the sense, I'm not talking about one that you and I can haul up and down the highway, but one that if we ended up buying it and initially parking it, let's say, in Texas.
Right.
That and then at some point in the future, if we decide maybe Texas isn't really where we want to live long term, that it could be theoretically moved.
Right.
We'd have to pay somebody to come in and move it, and it'd probably cost $5,000-$6,000 or whatever.
Right.
But maybe we move it to Florida.
Right.
Or maybe we buy it and we put it in Indiana.
And then put the trailer where it's going.
Because there has been some scuttlebutt around the campground of a potential tiny house village.
Right.
Outside of the campground. Or, part of the campground, but in that
land.
Right. I could see us, because we are going to be living here as long as Angie and Kevin will have me as an employee.
Right.
We're going to be living at the campground 7 months out of the year.
Sure.
So it might make sense to have a tiny home here and then have our fifth wheel to go south in the winter.
Yeah.
Could we Airbnb, or could we put ours as a rental in that case, or you'd still say no on the fifth wheel? Let it make some money in the summer while we're not in it.
I have no idea.
You're not. See, Patty gets really weird about renting out a house or anything of ours.
I
know. Okay.
Wanted to get rid of
that was not part of this discussion.
Anna and I just lost her last name.
Belle.
Annabelle and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to that, because she's like, how do you know who's going to ruin it, or they're going to break something, or cause a fire, or ruin it, or I'll say it again, ruin it.
Well, that's what Anna says, but you know what Elsa says? Let it go, let it go. All right, sorry, I didn't mean a squirrel.
Squirrel. Yeah,
I got you off topic. But anyway, so I think what I'm trying to say is the big question is we at this point don't know where we would even put it.
But we have an idea of kind of what we
want.
But
we're starting, because we've been doing a lot of research over the last few months. We've kind of narrowed it down. We're starting to get to a point where we know what we want in this house. And for anybody sitting there going, well, you're just going from an RV to another RV. No. A true tiny home is constructed like a home.
Woods built.
Yeah, it has real walls made out of wood. And drywall in many cases if you want on the inside, and metal roof, and it's so that's why we want one of those, because it's more of a true home. Yeah. It's just they tend to be portable.
Right.
You can get them. The problem is I don't know that you can legally call them a tiny home, and I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying most people think of a tiny home as anything under 400 square feet.
Right.
Except in the state of Florida where it's under 500 square feet. I think when you start getting bigger and they do make park models that are 550, 600.
Sure. Right.
But then you get, like I said, and then so we're looking probably at 400, 399 or less.
Right.
But we don't want to. But at the same time, you're not going to live in 160 square feet.
No.
No. Yeah.
No.
So
even our fifth wheel isn't 160 square feet.
No, we're actually our fifth wheel. Well, whatever, 32 times 8, 8.5. Yeah, that's a lot of math. But it's significantly more than 160. So.
About 260.
So I think we found some builders. Not saying we definitely go with one of these.
No, but we've
right
been
now
finding some that do some really cool stuff.
So number one, we really like
True Form
Tiny out of Oregon.
Yeah, they do some amazing things. Those houses, they're tiny houses that they build. They're awesome. They know how, and a lot of these know how to use every little nook and cranny.
Yeah.
And just even the styling and the modern look of it, and how they
craftsmanship.
They make it look so open.
Right.
And just the use of light, like with windows up high, and it's just beautiful.
And all of these we're going to talk about, they have YouTube channels, so I will link those in the show notes or the description if you're watching this on video. So if you want to go check out to see what Patty and I are talking about, you can see it because all of them have like tours of their homes. And so I think through True Form, we had been looking at, do you remember the name of the model we were looking at that we priced out the other night?
Golly.
I don't remember.
I don't remember the form.
So
Cascade? No. I don't know.
Because they kind of have it in, a lot of these do. They have like their park model version, which is their bigger.
Yep.
And a lot of these that we're looking at, the park models, which are the bigger ones, meaning over 400 square feet, you're pushing 200,000.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. What we're looking at is the what they would still deem a, I don't want to say an RV, but kind of like an RV, like portable.
Yeah.
And those start significantly less.
Right.
But the other night we built one.
We did.
Because the nice thing about True Form's website is you can go in and price out
everything.
You pick everything, right down to the fixtures, and I think we were up to about 150.
I think so.
On that particular one.
Yeah, I can't remember the model style, but yeah.
And then secondly, we like Mint Tiny Home out of Canada.
Yes.
And again, there we are looking at ones like they currently have inventory where you can buy off of their inventory lot, or you can have them make it.
Sure.
I'm not so sure if we didn't know exactly where we could park it that we wouldn't have ordered one the other night.
I think we might have.
Because they had one we really liked for $119,000 US. The problem is I know you would then have some additional cost to get it across the border.
The charge, yeah.
And they do sell a ton here in the US, so they know exactly how to handle all of that.
Right.
But I thought that was a pretty good price they have on that.
And again, they do great craftsmanship. It's similar to Mint.
It's similar.
And similar to True Form, I mean.
I'll tell you what. There's something about True Form I really like.
It's almost like True Form is just
a notch above.
Everybody else. But Mint
at least of the
nice.
Ones we're looking at. Yeah. But Mint still, it looks like, makes a really quality. The third one we've looked at
is it Wind River?
Well, let's go with Indigo River. Indigo River out of Texas.
Okay.
The thing now they do have a couple floor plans that have a downstairs bedroom, which is a must for us.
Yeah, that's what we want, yeah.
But a lot of theirs have these upstairs bedrooms where you can stand up in the loft, it's the so-called loft, on two sides of the bed.
Right.
But the problem is the bed is on a platform against a wall, which means one of us has to crawl in, and there is no way we're doing that.
I don't want to do that anymore.
No, absolutely not. But I do believe, I was looking at their website again, I think he will make you one where you have a true walk-around bed.
I think, yeah.
But then the other one that I think we're seriously considering now for a couple of reasons is Wind River out of down near Chattanooga, Tennessee.
And that just makes it's closer, I guess.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense because we watched a video of a couple that had bought a tiny house and then had issues with the build. And they were so far away. It would be like us buying one in Oregon and then trying to get work done. And so the factory was telling them, just send it back to Idaho. But I forget what she said it was going to cost to have it transported to Idaho and back.
Right.
So it got us thinking, like, maybe there is a better idea to buy something a little closer.
Right, because even those folks recommended a third inspector. Like you have like at least 3 inspections on it to make sure it's good before you're good with it.
So and Wind River, I feel like it is very similar to True Form. They do a lot of that same very open, airy, modern look.
Yeah, they do.
So anyway, so those are the companies we're looking at. But now Patty and I, after a few months of really watching a ton of YouTube and doing research, I think we finally narrowed down things that we must have,
yep,
things that we would like, but they're not a deal breaker, and things we definitely don't want.
Must. Downstairs bedroom.
Yeah, absolutely. Downstairs.
With a walk-around bed.
Walk-around bed. We do not want a situation, because we have seen tiny homes where it's a downstairs bedroom, but again, it's pushed against the wall.
Like in a little space area. Yeah.
And so, and I would say we could then add in a queen will suffice.
Yes, it would.
A queen is a minimum.
Yep.
A king would be a bonus.
Yep,
if we could do a king bed, because we have a king mattress that we're saving.
Yep, we are.
But I don't think it would be a deal breaker if the room did not fit the king.
No, because we have a queen right now in the fifth wheel.
So
and we know how that works.
But the downstairs walk around, that is a must.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. I think we want a space that has a stackable washer and dryer.
It either has to be a side-by-side or a stackable.
Yeah.
I refuse to do.
We don't want one of those.
No disrespect to any of you who own a all-in-one washer dryer.
Yeah.
I just overall, anyone who I've ever talked to says it gets us by. It's just not the best.
Yeah. So we want actually, some real washer and dryer, I guess.
Yes. I want a big refrigerator. It doesn't have to be full residential, but it needs to be at least apartment size.
Right. Yep.
I don't want to continue the rest of my life running to the grocery store every 2 to 3 days.
That's annoying, isn't it?
Right. And we're going to have to deal with that for a couple of years.
So, yeah.
Living space, I mean, it doesn't have to be big.
No.
But we want to be able to put a real couch in it.
I like a real couch.
And possibly big enough, if possible, at least one chair.
That would be nice, yeah.
And I think, I think that's kind of like our main criteria.
I think so.
Kitchen-wise, here's the thing. Microwave is a must because we're microwave people.
Yeah. Oven.
Cooktop is a must. But an oven, honestly,
I don't think we
hardly ever use our oven. We use our toaster oven.
I think if you just had a cooktop and the microwave, and we have our...
Because we're probably not going to be hosting Thanksgiving in a tiny house. Like where you got to get a turkey in. And I can always deep fry or smoke a turkey.
And we have that Ninja's, what is it?
Our Ninja 9-in-1, which is an air fryer. I mean, we use that Ninja even here at the house.
Yeah, a lot more than the oven.
Very rarely do I turn the oven on.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we need the oven. The dishwasher...
I don't know if that's a must.
Here's the thing. If it comes with a dishwasher...
Sure, fine.
I don't know that I'm going to pay for a dishwasher.
No.
Because in a tiny home, most of the time, it's actually a dishwasher that makes more sense for you and I because it's the drawer type.
Yeah.
And we've heard a couple people say, hey, you can only do maybe 1 to 2 days worth of dishes in it. But that's better because with our big dishwasher here, I mean, we literally have to run out of plates before it even gets close to full enough to run it.
Right.
And so, in some ways, that little drawer dishwasher probably...
That is just really cool looking.
But you know what? In the summer, when we live in our RV...
We don't have one.
We never miss it.
We're the dishwasher.
We just wash the dishes. So, so I don't think so on that. Let's talk about the bathroom.
Bathroom. I think having a regular toilet... We don't want anything that's...
we're not doing any composting.
Okay. It'd be nice to have...
Or incinerating.
Some have like a teeny tiny little sink, but I'm not something itty bitty, but just something...
You want something big enough you can wash your hair in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then with the debate has been, because I do like to take a bath, but there are some really nice showers that we've seen with how they make them with the tile and the inserts and all that.
I find this interesting because I think the other night I asked you this and I think you answered me and it shocked me a little bit. I said, if you had your choice between a shower tub combo that's a fiberglass insert, kind of like what we have here at the house in the downstairs bedroom or bathroom, or a custom tiled shower, and I mean like the big one where you walk in. Sometimes you don't even need shower doors because they put up like a half wall with glass. And has the but it's all tile floor tile.
Yes.
Which of those? And
I would do that one.
Yeah, and that shocked me because you were like, no, I'll give up the bathtub for like this really like spa-like shower.
So fancy looking to me and spa-like and
because you like your baths. That's why
I do, but I'd never have a bathtub in the trailer.
No.
So
it might be interesting to see if a year from now, as we maybe get a little closer to just to buying a tiny home, if that'll change after a year of no baths.
Because we have seen on our research some really cool, but I think they're really expensive, those tubs and a shower combo. Remember they had one that had a real fancy off to the side tub and then had a little shower.
Yeah, and they can sometimes do that where, it's like an all-in-one with like a shower curtain that comes around.
Or it was separate.
Yeah, or two separate. Yeah. That's a lot of space you're taking up in a tiny home.
But yeah.
But yeah, so
but I think I'm thinking here, I don't have to have a tub.
Right.
I think if it's a really awesome tiled like we've seen, I'm good with that.
Let's talk lofts. Not to sleep in.
Maybe a loft for storage. And I don't even know. I mean, I guess it'd be nice to have it for storage.
I think that would be the only reason. Here's the downside that I see with having any loft.
I think it just makes sometimes your ceiling low.
Your ceilings are so low, and I feel like the ones that don't have lofts where the ceilings go all the way up.
It just feels more open and bigger, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to. I do not want two lofts.
I don't think so. We saw some of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't.
I would want one loft.
And I don't want the loft over my bedroom, I think, because I want high ceilings in my bedroom.
Yeah.
It'd have to be on the other side, but then I don't know.
One of the things, and I think most of these builders work this way, but I saw a video yesterday with Wind River where the lady said, this is our, I forget how she phrased it, like our ideal layout. However, we are more than open.
Yeah, to change it up.
If you want to change it up and make it the way that will make most sense for you. And that kind of got me excited, even though I'm pretty sure most of them will do that. Because in that particular one, I think it had two lofts.
It did.
Maybe.
It did on both sides.
And so I know what it was. It was that, because I said if we could get rid of one loft, maybe keep the one just because it would give us a little storage.
Right.
And then the other thing was that one had 1.5 baths in it.
Yeah, we don't need a half bath.
And we're like, why would you want to waste? I'm like, I don't. So
we don't need that.
I said to Patty, I'm like, you know what I would do is I would ask him if we could get rid of the bath and put the washer and dryer back there.
Yep.
And have like a washroom. Then I went on their website about an hour later. I was clicking through and didn't realize.
And they had one like that.
They have an alternative floor plan where you turn that half bath into a mud room and your washer and dryer go in there.
That'd be perfect.
And so, but I think I'm kind of excited about maybe reaching out to Wind River at some point and talking to them a little bit more about the customization and the price, that type of thing. My only thing, I was thinking this the other day, was if we could get one that was what I would call road legal, meaning you don't need a special permit.
Right.
Which means it has to be no wider, I believe, than 8.5 feet.
Right.
That possibly could my truck pull it,
yeah,
and we could just go ahead and sell the RV and take the tiny house north and south every year until we quit doing the north and south thing. Most of the Wind Rivers are 10 feet wide.
Got it.
And to move a 10-foot wide, that's where you have to get a permit. You have to have escorts, and we're not going to do that.
No, that doesn't sound like fun.
And even when I was looking at the mint tiny homes that we were looking at, I don't even think my truck could pull.
Yeah, I think they're too heavy.
We would have to upgrade to probably a 1-ton or a flatbed.
Yeah.
And I don't think we want to do that
either.
So, roof line.
Roof line.
I
think the cool one. Well, here, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think we're similar on this one. Well, I think I like two kinds.
Okay.
I know. Let me guess here. I think you like the style where one side's higher than the other.
Right, the slanted roof, where like it goes from
the front where you walk in.
Yeah, I like the ones where either your bedroom, like maybe your bedroom is facing where the ceiling is high outside with the big windows. You have that wall of windows, and your living room is facing out, and then it tapers off backwards.
Right.
That's what I really like. I think it's a modern look.
Yeah.
And I just love when your living room and your bedroom have that just massive wall of windows.
Yeah. And there's the other one that I think I don't know, I just think it looks so cutie, is where I guess it's more traditional, maybe more country. I don't know.
Like the farmhouse style that True Form
with the triangle, I guess.
Yeah,
top.
The pitched roof and
and the cute little dormers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cute. But yeah, you're right that the modern is cool. I like them both.
Yeah.
So.
I think the thing about the pitched roof where you have that wall of, I call it the wall of windows, I think you have to have the right location to put it, though, because if you're in an actual tiny house village or an
you're
RV
looking
park,
at somebody
you're
else.
looking at somebody's trailer. So you almost need to be someplace where you can set the trailer
like you're looking
long
at
ways, and you're looking like out at the mountains
or a pond or something.
Yeah.
Ocean.
yeah, the ocean, or I doubt we'll be looking at the ocean because I don't want to park it in a place that it can blow away.
Yeah. So a pond. How about that? A lake. So yeah.
What else? I mean, I almost feel like we're at a point now where we could sit down with a sketch pad.
I think we could.
And sketch out.
Because we only need one bedroom.
We only want one bedroom.
We want a nice, and it'd be huge.
What's your thoughts on where the bathroom's located?
I think the bathroom, now we've seen them many ways, but I like the ones, it's kind of like what we have now where the bathroom is by our bedroom.
Yeah.
Not where you have to walk across the whole
because
we've
seen them where the bathroom is on one end of the tiny home and the bedroom's on the other end, so you have to walk through the kitchen and the living room.
Yeah. I don't know that
that's a deal breaker.
No, it's not. If it was a really cool one, it'd be like, all right.
And the price was right.
But if I can be picky, it would be right near the bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I thought about this because I saw a model the other day where the bathroom was not like, because a lot of them, the bathroom is kind of like off of a hallway.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But this one, the bathroom went the full 10 feet across. So you had to walk through the bathroom to get into the bedroom, which I don't know that that's a problem for you and I.
I don't think that would be an issue.
No,
there's probably a door there too.
Well, there's two doors because you have the door that is the kitchen to the bathroom, and then the door between the bathroom and the bedroom.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, like, would there be a reason why that would not work in our case where we don't have kids, we're not going to have people staying with us. We'll just put that out there. Nobody's staying with us.
No, I don't think that.
Everybody's like, gosh, I always thought you people were so nice.
I don't think that'd be an issue for us. No.
Yeah.
Because some fifth wheels are like that, and trailers are like that. Yeah.
Now, I will say, as we kind of start to wrap this up, because this one's getting long again, I have been looking at RVs. Go figure. There's a big shocker, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, we're going to live in this RV for a couple years. And I know we bought the one we currently have with this whole plan in mind. But I was like, wouldn't it be nice if we had a bigger refrigerator, bigger closet space for our clothes, and possibly a washer dryer in the RV?
Right.
And I found the perfect RV for us. It's a Brinkley.
Yes.
And you can get the floor plan either in a travel trailer or a fifth wheel.
Okay.
Obviously, with travel trailer, it's a lot longer.
Right.
But I was just like, when I was watching the walkthrough of the travel trailer, I was like, oh my gosh, I want this. And my thought was the travel trailer would be cheaper than the fifth wheel.
It's probably more.
I don't know it's anymore, but it was still $100,000.
Oh my gosh.
And so, and I'm sure the fifth, and that's probably MSRP. So you could probably get it. You might be able to get it for $80,000.
Okay.
Yeah. You could call Matt up. He'd probably get it for you for $80,000. But, and maybe the fifth wheel, I don't know what you get the fifth wheel for. Maybe 85,
okay.
90. But, the thing was, as much as I was drooling over it.
Yeah.
There's part of me, and actually I think it was you that said, why would we're going to lose so much money on this one, and then a huge chunk of our money is going to go into something that we're not going to get back out of it. I think that's when I started thinking maybe we'll move into a tiny home sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with a tiny home, and I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like with a tiny home, because it's home construction, it's going to hold its value.
That's what I would hope. Yeah.
I don't know that you're going to see the price appreciation that you see like on the house we just sold.
Right.
But I feel like we won't take a bath like you do on an RV.
Right.
So as much as I would like a bigger RV now, with bigger, my big things really are bigger refrigerator, bigger closet, and I'm not going to lie, I thought I would never want a washer dryer, but hearing Jonathan, our friend from Tree Talker, the Traveler, they love their washer dryer in their fifth wheel.
Okay.
And he said he was kind of against it. Anna's the one that wanted it.
Right.
And now he's like, I would never do it again without it. Like,
okay.
He loves it. So, but I think we can survive.
We can. We can.
Yeah. So
we have before.
We'll do it. So,
yeah.
But we are already on the hunt for our next home. And
we are.
So let us know in the comments, are we nuts for wanting to go from a 1,400 square feet house to we'll say, 250 square feet RV,
right,
and then into a, let's say, 400 square foot tiny home.
Yeah.
I know you're going to say people already think we're nuts regardless of what we do. So.
yeah.
But you can let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And if anybody knows of some tiny home builders, let us know. And if you know some tiny home villages in warm climates. Okay, I don't want anybody telling me about the one in Pennsylvania. We know about it. We love Pennsylvania. We have friends in Pennsylvania, lots of friends in Pennsylvania. But I do not want to spend winters in Pennsylvania.
No, we want to be in warmer climate in the winter.
So,
months,
I mean, we're talking about states like South Carolina, maybe Georgia, Florida, Texas. I don't know that we want to go any far west than that.
Probably not.
Maybe Alabama. I don't know. I don't know. But so, because that's the other. Finding the tiny home is easy. Finding a place to park it's
going to be the hard part, I think.
And yes, buying land is always a possibility if you're in a county that will allow a tiny home
to do that.
And then what are you going to spend on infrastructure, i.e., water, sewer, electric, to get all that put in?
Oh, you're stressing me.
I know. And we haven't even moved out of the house yet.
No.
All right. Well, don't stress, because you know what? Mr. Jim Kuzma's going to take care of it, because he takes care of everything. He's our friend. He's our producer.
He is.
And we couldn't do this podcast without him.
We couldn't.
And you know who else we couldn't do this podcast without?
All the people listening.
Exactly.
All of us listen to the jibber jabber.
I know. Thank you guys for making it. If you made it all the way to this part.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. I feel like I need to give you a prize or something.
A hug or something.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for allowing us to kind of share what we have been researching over the past few months. We talked about this way back in November.
Yes.
Kind of talked about tiny homes, but we didn't really know if it was a thing or whether for us it was going to be a thing. And what we now I feel like we have a much clearer vision of what this next house is going to look like.
We know what we're getting there. So. Yep.
All right, everybody. Till next time, we'll see ya.
On down the road. Bye.
Travels with Delaney. We'll see you on down the road.